went on in 24 years ago with the President of the United States. This day feels to me like we're taking a step down the road to becoming a political lynch mob. We're in so much hurry to get this done so it can be in the Saturday, Sunday news cycle and have our mint juleps at 5 o'clock. We are going to find a rope, find a tree, and ask a bunch of questions later. It will be too late for fairness. We can go back and get another rule, a fair rule that would give the opportunity to the president and secondly, to protect those people that even Mr. Starr says needs to be protected, for heaven's sakes. He didn't recommend we rush out here and do this at 100 miles an hour. And I think that this House is acting way too fast for any kind of fairness. Everyone here knows the public's going to get this. I urge you to vote no.
Gentleman from...
There you go. I mean, crazy, right? All right, so we know this is happening to Trump. All right, he said something about lynching, and they are going crazy, folks. Crazy. And now all these other videos, and I'm not making the stretch, but we are, of all these other people that have said it in the past on the left. Biden has come out now. Oh yeah, I apologize for this old one from 92 or 98, and then this guy here. So they're outraged that Trump said it. They weren't when their own people said it. It's the same thing. It's a bunch of noise. Don't get too wrapped up into it. Trump does this on purpose. I think somebody is looking at old things and saying, "Why don't you use this word?" They heavily used it. And he's like, "All right, I will." And it's just something to keep their heads spinning. Awesome as that is, it can be a huge, basically distraction. All right, folks. So I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. Happy to be back after a 7-day ban. It was a video from 3-4 months ago. WTT7, a college is opening up new investigatorial, taking paperwork, looking into it. Building 7, just the 7. And I don't know, they hit me up on hate speech. I'm not sure what in that video was. I've looked at it several times, but out of the blue it went down. So sorry for that happening. I have no control. We know what we're dealing with on that aspect, but this is hilarious here. But I wanted to take a minute to talk about the insurrection video. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Looking into that last year heavily and knowing that it can, now most movies have portrayed it to be like a martial law inflicted on the people versus the government. That's always seems really bad. But if you look into the actual Constitution, Article 3, Section 3, and then you look into the insurrection, which came out much later, it can be very scary, and that's something we wouldn't want to call for. Now, we have talked about in the past, there's been times after Katrina, I think, people talked about there was some form of martial law from the governor. We know the Insurrection Act was used after 9/11. It was used after the 92 riots in L.A., the actual National Guard, to quell the riots going on. And it didn't affect the country. Nobody got their guns taken. Even the people that we had screaming, "I lived through this martial law down in Katrina," we had asked, "Did you get your guns taken?" And they didn't. And it's like, okay, so maybe you weren't running out in the street with your gun, acting a fool, looting, rioting, trying to take something that wasn't yours. And it worked out okay for the time being. And not that we want that or condone it or ask for it, but that's typically what we've known it to be for. Things to protect. The government comes in and kind of takes over, and it's scary. We don't want that. What we're talking about here and what the way this could look at is Trump's given them every opportunity, all these people, to do investigations, all these different DOJ, the FBI, to do the right thing. And I think they've brought back in multiple old people throughout time to give them, to see if put in the position, what are they going to do? Mueller, Horowitz. And if they don't, after multiple times to stop this coup, if they do not, knowing after investigating it, staring it in the face, hearing all about it, knowing, and then covering and helping, aid it and abet it, bet your ass there's going to have to be something to be done. So you look into these laws that we've looked into, and again, they always sound scary when applied towards me or you. But we're not the ones doing anything bad. I know I'm not. You know you're not. This is used for bad people in the country that are doing treasonous things. There's a coup. There's a attempt to destroy our republic. I don't know, short of, they're following the law in every way. People are like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that already? Because they are following the law every step of the way. This is the history books. This has to be done lawfully. There are ways he could have done it, but that would have shocked the country. All right, we've known about it. The Joe M video shows a really good opening scene about that. Or I don't even know if it was that video or not, but just the knowing the fact that you have a lot of people sleeping. If all of a sudden on day one there's all these arrests happening, that's the military could have done a takeover. But I'm telling you right now, folks, the military intelligence has been operating. They're the head of the spear. They're collecting everything on everybody else. It flipped. When can military intelligence do an official takeover of all other alphabetical agencies? When you find those heads of those agencies to be corrupt, to be doing the wrong thing, to be treasonous, sedition, to be doing all these things, working with foreign governments. All right, this is the hugest thing that we've been pitching, talking about for the last several years. A year and going on 2 years with the show here, not quite 2 years, but even before this show, this is something that we've been digging into. I've been knowing all about, and it's just a process. So do we know? There's a lot of interesting things. Durham, they went to Rome. What was this? Brennan and Clapper. We had 11th hour testimony. I mean, this is supposed to be due out back in June. The IG Horowitz report on FISA abuse. Trump's been calling for it now. A couple of tweets a couple days ago. We have some 11th hour testimony. Actual Carter Page. Steele, Christopher Steele, the guy behind the dossier, wanted to talk, wanted to get on the record. Fine, we'll take it. We wanted that in June, late June of this past year, 2019. We wanted that. We needed that. That led to something else. This is why we've had 2-3 months more delays, because things keep turning up and they have to go where that leads. Cannot do anything outside of that. We need, how do you legally inject all this information into the public through the D-class process or into the courts? They're scrambling. We see that. They got this impeachment thing, a one-sided Democratic impeachment behind closed doors. You got old Shifty Shift running it. They stormed it today. The Republicans literally stormed, led by Matt Gaetz. They went down and tried to storm it, get in there, and be part of it, because that's the process. See what's going on. You cannot hold these secret meetings where Adam Schiff compares it to a grand jury proceedings, but ran all by one group. And another thing, it's not a crime. There's no crime. You can't have a grand jury being ran the way he explains it, and there's just not even anything there. All right. We're going to shut this one down, keep it short and sweet. I just wanted to bring some information out. What do you guys think? What are we going to do? What should Trump do to clean up the madhouse? You got this whole system that is, the media is full of lies. We're seeing that with CNN being exposed. They're on an agenda. 90%. They want to talk about polls. They did a poll. And since Trump's been president, 90% of the coverage, 90% of the media has been negative Nancy Pelosi on him. So, deep state. Is the FISA report when it comes out going to be rigged? Or did Horowitz get to the facts? Did Durham follow up on them? Did they do the right thing? We know what happened. We know everyone wants to talk about process. Brennan's screaming, Clapper's crying. I just don't know why they want to waste time and go back to the origins of the Russia thing and look into how we did it. We did our job. We did it right. Yeah, once you got the authorization, you guys took off and you did everything by the book. I have no doubt. It's why it started. The fact that Comey hid from at least 3 of the 4, warrants to be signed off for the spying through the FISA on a citizen. He withheld that it was paid for by Hillary, by this guy, Christopher Steele, that was a foreign spy. Hillary Clinton DNC paid for. 2 of the FBI's that are mandated when they have a person like that bring forth to go interview him on separate occasions. The paperwork was no good on him. They said they couldn't be trusted. He was biased. He expressed clear bias. And then Comey went ahead and hid that paperwork. I think they literally had it filed to be declassified by 2090. The year 2090. People got to the bottom of it. He didn't turn that over forthcoming to Horowitz. And then he probably screamed that there was, it was classified. I didn't know I had to turn it over. We told you everything. Well, I mean, I know, but did they classify it on the fact that Horowitz report was coming and they knew he had to go talk to him? Hurry up and hide this. We'll classify it and dunk it into a folder and hope it remains hidden because it shows your whole little scheme. I mean, folks, this is bad and no charges have been done. So we can't move forward without justice, fair justice, equal justice under the law. We got too much obstruction going on. The media helping. We know they're lying, making things up, ignoring clear crimes on Hillary. The same group then starts a fake Russia hoax witch hunt for 3 years looking for something to charge Trump on when they tripped over the evidence with Hillary. Literally, you walked around her, you're tripping over evidence, you're falling down, you're picking yourself up. You can swoop up all this evidence right there, put it in your backpack, and go charge her for it. But yeah, they named it all off. They said she did all this. But nobody's going to want to charge her. Nobody in their right mind. No prosecutor in their right mind. But we think Trump might have done something, so we need to look into it. And it's like you're looking for crimes instead of just charging the ones that you already had on another person. That's not fair. So all these people are fired now. And then you got people that cite that Hillary was found clear, but we know by these same people that are fired now. This doesn't typically happen like that. You might lose 1 or 2. A couple people leave with the president. They don't want to be around for the next administration. There's not a huge turnover. And if there is, it's not a bunch of firings. People retire. They're going to go do something else. It's not like what's happening now. Same people that cite all the people that are fired now that cleared Hillary cite the foreign Ukraine government that cleared Biden for the time being back then. I think even now he's changed his story. Well, we don't want to listen to that guy now. We wanted to listen to him just then at that point in time. And everyone else around him that was screaming that we're bad, we're not listening to them either. So we only listen to the guy. By the way, now he's saying something different. But we want to listen to him back in that era of 2013, 14, whatever, 15. Unbelievable, the bias that we're seeing. And I'm real ashamed of the country and not the country, but the people running it, all right? Always have love. We'll always fight with you, for you, amongst you as far as for our rights, for our freedoms. We don't want to go down the path of giving up anything more for the sake of security. Everything's been blanketed in security, the name of security, and we're going down that road. We're not going to give another inch. We need to stand strong. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up, folks. I want a couple more minutes. Look for something later tonight. Again, happy to be back after a 7-day ban. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. We'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. Coming real soon, folks, later this evening. You enjoy the late afternoon into your evening, and God bless each and every one of you. And make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment. Take a look in the description box. We'll see you back here.